So the other side of the coin that I didn't really get enough time to investigate in my blog properly was the idea of, or the question of, why expert opinions and scientists aren't deemed acceptable enough to portray such a serious issue, or the seriousness of things like climate change and the need to update water infrastructure. And then I sort of looked into research about this and found that certain research like to identify the experts did in fact exist, which I was like, all right, well, that makes sense. I don't know why that needed to be clarified. So then I looked into what classifies or what defines an expert, and I got into a bit of uncharted territory for me in terms of the psychology side, but I found a study that showed that what we call experts is defined by certain habits or personality traits and dispositions, which made them technically more equipped to reason on topics, which meant that they were able to collectively share ideas between maybe different fields and many forms of knowledge, and therefore be flexible on the way that they then viewed outputs from that as well. So it made them good guides, or will make them good guides for the rest of us.
So a running theme in lots of the research that I did was that scientists needed to communicate their ideas more broadly in the future, which in my head brought us full back circle to our celebrities, who use the spotlight and then are better designed as well to present ideas in an engaging manner.
So I read somewhere in my research, something that kind of stuck with me was that current policies are based on science but driven by values. I thought that was quite an interesting thought, because scientists by nature normally required to be dispassionate and to be able to view things from a very logical or objective viewpoint. But I always thought that in order to enact change, and particularly to change policy, we require passion. That's kind of the thing I always assumed we needed. And we can't find passion in our scientists, because technically that's not how they're supposed to be. So I know we can't really see the passion too strongly in our politicians, particularly here in Australia. So maybe we need to be able to see passion within ourselves, within the average people, the people who read the science, who listen to our politicians talking on the television. I think for the average person, it's hard to find passion in our day-to-day lives. Scrolling through Twitter, Facebook, it's very hard to have. It's very hard when you've got a bunch of information thrown at your face. But how do you feel about every single thing that comes up? So maybe this is where I see the role of celebrity endorsement being useful or a benefit. It kind of separates those issues which really need to be passionate, have passionate views on.
So maybe we don't need to be hanging on their every word or being directly spurred into action by Cameron Diaz whizzing around in a hybrid car. Maybe we just need celebrities to start to remind us of a conversation that we need to be collectively having.